og nú það mér mikill heiður að fá að kynna Dr. Roxana E Cziker sem ég þakka fyrir að gera þetta veruleika, hjálpa okkur að koma þessari ráðstefnu á laggirnar. Þetta velkomin.
Takk fyrir Finnur. Good morning everybody. Dear guests here present in the room and also present online, dear lecturers, and the host of the event, I'm very honored today to have the privilege to reach the objective of the PACE event on evidence-based policy innovation, which is built on the results, main outcomes of the PACE Local Democracy Lab, which has been organized in Iceland. I would like to start by thank very much to 27 participants to the PACE Local Democracy Lab who was organized in January 2021 in Iceland, for their inspiration, for their insights, and for making possible the idea of this event today. My name is Roxana Cziker, and I'm the research project manager of this project, PACE and Populism and Civic Engagement. And I have the pleasure today to introduce you very briefly the outcome of the PACE project and the Local Democracy Lab. I would like just to give you first a short overview about the project. PACE is a 3-year project which has been financed by Horizon 2020 Research and Innovation Program. It was started in February 2019 and it will end in January 2022. So we are very, very close to the end of the project. So the consortium has built such as the partner bring their insight and expertise in order to address both the qualitative and quantitative research on populist parties and populist movement in Europe. And therefore we have 4 universities, Manchester University in UK, who is the coordinator of the project. Then we have Salzburg University, Technical University in Dresden, Helsinki University. We have Citizen Foundation. Robert Bjarnason is here with us today, and thank you very much for being here. We have Trilateral Research in Ireland, Center for Liberal Strategies in Bulgaria, Democratic Society based in Brussels, and of course Municipality of Reykjavík. It's an honor for us to be a part of this project. So the main aim of the project is to try to address and understand the negative tendencies associated with the populist politics, to build upon the lesson of positive examples, because always when we think about research some topic, we don't look necessarily only on the negative side, but it's important to look also on the positive aspects of it. And of course, with this research, we are trying to construct a firmer democratic and institutional foundation for the citizen in Europe. For more in details about the project, you can find on the PACE website. There are many results, very interesting infographic that you can see there, and also one of the tools created by the Robert Bjarnason. So I would like to mention that one of the tasks which are attached to the Objective 5 of the project, engagement of stakeholders, is to implement 6 local democracy labs and 1 pilot democracy lab in different European countries. I think it's important to mention that the selection criteria of the location where the local democracy labs have been implemented is exactly in line with one of the research of the work package 1, which is dealing to provide case studies on populist, nativist parties and social movements in different European countries. At the same time, we had in mind that it's better to tackle different opinion on trust in authorities in different locations in Europe. Therefore, we come up with Nordic, Western, Eastern, Central, and Balkanic countries. And it's amazing, you will see afterwards that the results are very similar in all 7 local democracy labs. So, of course, originally has been planned that local democracy lab will be implemented in person, but nowadays situation teach us that we always have to reshape and rethink our strategies and methodologies. Therefore, we come up with a hybrid solution to implement the local democracy labs, both in person and online. So we started by piloting the local democracy lab in Italy in September 2019, and of course we did also some exercises with the policy actors in Brussels in November 2019. And we had the privilege in Iceland to test the first online pilot democracy lab in January, which was followed by the one in Spain in March, Scotland in April, Hungary in May, in Poland June, and Bulgaria July. The main topic of the local democracy lab was trust in authorities in the time of COVID pandemic. And we had at least four purposes for local democracy lab to assess the public attitudes to an aspiration toward democracy, to identify ways of democratic involvement and participation, because it's important not only to engage people in discussion, but also to enable them to have an impact on the policy that we provide in the future. Also, we wanted to see and to understand how the traditional and social media influence the opinion dynamic, and also we had in mind because minority groups had not always the opportunity to participate in the discussion to tackle better this group of stakeholders, underrepresented groups. So we come up with a very innovative deliberation format for local democracy lab, which has been divided in 3 stages. The first stage, it was creating the event on the Your Priorities or Better Reykjavík, which has been created by the Citizen Foundation in Iceland, to enable the participant to get familiar with the topic, participate with the idea, and then contribute in discussion by voting up and down to the idea of the other participants. Then the second stage, it was the online deliberation, where participants had the opportunity to discuss around the topic. And the third one, of course, we started again to open the Your Priorities platform for enabling the participant to express their opinion about the event, and at the same time, if there are other ideas didn't express in the online discussion, to express it there. I would like just to mention that one of the limitations of our study here is that the participant didn't participate on the Your Priorities platform, and the reason is that it was not a facilitator that support and welcome the discussion of the participants. So for the future, if we would like to implement this kind of solution for deliberative discussion, it's better to have somebody who answer and welcome the participant and take care of the discussion that is happening there. 3 sessions has been proposed in the local democracy labs, of course, in a virtual breakout room, which has been led by expert facilitators, and we have been using 3 questions. In the first session, we proposed an explorative question in a personal experience of participants. How do they experience that the authorities handle the COVID pandemic? The second session proposed a deepening question. How did they feel about the restriction imposed by the authorities locally, regionally, and nationally? And the third session proposed a reflective question. What would be their recommendation for the authorities in case of another future pandemic? So if you would like overall the total number of registered participants in 7 local democracy labs, there were 282. 53% of them, 150 participants, attended the online meeting. In Iceland, 27 among 56 registered participants attended the online event. If you like the inclusion criteria, we didn't apply a standardized selection criteria, because we bear in mind that we select the participant from underrepresented group. Therefore, the inclusion criteria were age balance, gender balance and sexual orientation, ethnic and religious group, people with immigrants background, and people with disabilities. So the method that we have been using for qualitative examination of the participant statement, it was a thematic analysis, a very basic one. And we come up with two levels over the global theme of trust, distrust in authorities. On the first level, we have 4 categories: positive insight, trust, critical views, distrust, challenges, uncertainties, and recommendation. And for the second level, we had the appreciation or the opinion of participants on the measure applied by the authorities, the consequences on different sectors, and at the same time, to what extent these measures were addressing the needs of different groups of people within the Icelandic society. So we have 5 categories: strengths of authority measures, communication and information strategies, coordination and cooperation of authorities, monitoring of cascading effects, and individual well-being and quality of life. So maybe I will not go very much in details. If you would like, the extended report of the Local Democracy Lab is available on the PACE website, but just to mention very briefly that the most trustworthy authorities in Iceland were ministers, experts, and health authorities. And the reason for this, there are different variables that I mention here on the slide. It's the composition of the frontline civil defense team, which was mainly based on expertise, health expertise. And also the information was available, was updated every time. The media has cooperated at a certain level in distribution of the information towards the different population. The information was available in different foreign languages, and I mention here foreign languages because when I say language, I'm not referring necessarily to a foreign language, but also adaptation on the language for different category of people, like, for instance, people with hearing impairment. So, because I see I don't have so much time left, after a more in-depth analysis of the result, there are particularly 4 topics that brought my attention. So these are communication strategies for public information, political leadership and political agenda, individual and community resilience mechanism, coordination and cooperation between different authorities and organizations, and keep a little bit the balance between the cooperation between central authorities and local authorities. And for me, these 4 categories of topics are very much related, and maybe we can think to to use them in a new strategies for building up a policy innovation for an inclusive society where each group and each minority can be included and addressed according to their needs. And why I'm saying this? Because the main objective of the meeting today is that I would like to try to bring the evidence base into the policy innovation. And I'm also aware that the participants were only 27, and the results, outcome that we gather, we cannot extrapolate it on the entire population. Therefore, I need the support of the academic and the experts who already have different kind of results in order to try to build and see whether these 4 categories are necessary for creating of policy innovation. And by this, I think it's necessary to find the new strategies for better monitoring the resources, services, tools, and expertise by, through the co-design, cooperation, coordination, strengthening the democratic representation, deliberation, participation, in order to enhance the capacity, legitimacy, and accountability, and overall strengthen the trust in authorities. So we have three objectives for this couple of days: to create a forum of discussion that brings together representatives of the political and academic community, administration, civic organization, minority groups, and other stakeholders, to take into consideration the innovative potential of applying co-creative and transdisciplinary research, knowledge, and experience for policy strategizing, and providing a tool for evaluation of the society in order to better meet the needs of different groups. I would like to end my presentation by inviting you to reflection, being inspired by one of the statements of the participants, which it sounds like this: vantar að segja frá hvað í húfi, átök á milli einstaklinga og samfélags, kallar á hugsun samsetningu samfélagsins. Hvert hlutverk okkar sem félagsþegna? Hver hættan? Takk harðlega fyrir.